guys, it's Alexis, aka the Sloth Reader, and I'm here today with another Top 5 Wednesday video. Top 5 Wednesday is hosted by Thorns, so I will link her video down below, as well as the Goodreads group where they post all of the topics and such. This week's Top 5 Wednesday video theme is books you feel differently about after reading them. So this is like books that you've been away from a little while, and you kind of have changed your opinion. Either you think more highly of the book and or you find yourself more disappointed with it. So the first one I'm going to mention is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. Basically, I really loved this book while I was reading it, and I really was enjoying the narrative. And at the time that I was reading it, I was pretty disappointed in the ending. I really wasn't crazy about it. But basically, the more time I spend away from this book, the more I think the disappointing ending really ruined it for me. So the more time I spend away from it, the less I like it, and the less that like I'm enamored with it and the writing style and everything. So if I were to like go back and rechange my rating, I'd probably drop it to 3 stars instead of 4, because I don't know, like, I think I was really disenchanted with it when I was reading it, and so, like, now I'm just kind of like, Next book I'm going to mention is All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. When I originally finished this book, I really loved it. Like, the ending had me crying, and I was feeling it, I was loving it, and then, like, 2 or 3 weeks after I read it, I was kind of thinking about it, and I realized that I really didn't like it that much at all. Like, I got caught up in the narrative and the story and the plot and the things that were happening, but I came to realize that I actually really didn't like the way that I felt the characters were portrayed and their mental illnesses, and I couldn't really find anything relatable to either of them, and I just felt like as more time went on, I kind of felt like they weren't real characters. They felt made up to me. And the whole thing was just kind of, I don't know, the more time I spend away from it, the more I realized that I just really didn't like it at all. The next book I'm going to mention is kind of upsetting. Believe me, it's very upsetting. And for that, I'm going to choose The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater. When I first finished this book, I thought it was everything I wanted it to be. I loved it. I was so caught up in it being the finale. And then the more time I spent away from it, and the more I was reading other people's reviews and opinions on it, the more I kind of realized that I was kind of disappointed with this being the final book in the series. I do feel like a lot of things were rushed, or they happened and they didn't make any sense, and I feel like a lot of things were left open, and I typically don't mind an open-ended, like, ending, and like the ending itself of this actual particular book, like the epilogue and stuff, I really liked. I liked that open-endedness, but I just feel like so many things were introduced in the series and they really were never wrapped up. So for that reason, I do think I'm going to have to drop my rating for this particular book and say that it might actually be my least favorite in the entire series. Next I'm going to mention is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This is pretty similar to the rest of the books I pretty much mentioned. When I first finished it, I loved it. I was like, this book is so awesome. Sarah J. Maas has done it again. I absolutely loved it. And then I pretty much woke up the next morning and I was like, I pretty much felt really indifferent about it. I realized that a lot of the things that I didn't like in this book are actually things that I really don't like. So, like, I really don't like Beauty and the Beast retellings, so I didn't really like that. I really wasn't buying the romance in this book at all, but I was kind of just going with it when I was reading it, and then I was out of it, and I was like, wow, I didn't buy into that romance at all. Even through the book, I really didn't like Tamlin, and so, like, when I finished the book, I was just like, wow, I really didn't like him as a love interest. He was really kind of boring, and the rest of the characters in the book were way more interesting. So, this book I kind of just was very meh about, but I am excited to read the sequel because pretty much all the things I didn't like about this book change in that one, so I'm excited. And final book I'm going to mention is one that I actually DNF'd, and the reason it's going to be on this list is because I'll explain. The book I'm talking about is Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. I DNF'd this halfway through the book because I was very upset with the characters and just how awful they were and how they were very dehumanizing to Will and just the portrayal of a physical disability in general. And so when I DNF'd it, I actually had the intention of picking it up again after I had seen the movie and kind of let my feelings simmer down a little. But the more time I spend away from this book, the more I realize that I actually don't ever intend to pick it up again. I have no interest in picking it up again. I actually think that if I did pick it up again, my feelings would still be the same, so I don't foresee myself continuing and reading the rest of it, so for that reason it is on this list. Alright guys, so that was my Top 5 Wednesday video for this Wednesday. Like I said, I really enjoy doing these videos. They're super fun, and I strongly urge everybody to join in because they're easy, they're quick, and they're just so much fun. And you guys should all check out the group and Thoughts on Tones as well, and I will see you guys soon with another video.